did not think that we forgot about you, did you? You are probably wondering, when is a single pastor going to come up and talk to me about singleness? And I am here to talk to you about some singleness. Can I hear woo-woo from the single people? I know there's not a lot of us out here, but that's okay. Well, guys, I want to encourage you. Today, I'm going to take the next 15 minutes, okay? And I'm going to go over for all the single people and even those that a relationship was robbed from them. We're going to talk about the importance of your single years and the importance of being single. And so the next 15 minutes, this little segment is called, if you'll put that slide up there, it is called the Sacred Single Years. It's coming up there. And so it is so important that we understand how important our single years are. Can I get an amen? Come on. All right, well, let's start out. Please, I encourage you to take notes because this is going to be really good stuff. Really, really good stuff, okay? So for the next 15 minutes, here we go. Just like Pastor Cody's been talking about how to raise the quality of marriage today, that doesn't just begin whenever you get married. You don't start raising the quality of marriage whenever you get married. Just like he said, you start when you are, let me hear it, single. You start whenever you are single. It doesn't begin whenever you get married and suddenly you just are downloaded into your brain. All of the information on how to get along and how to love each other and all this stuff just happens whenever you walk down the aisle and it's given to you. That begins in your single years. And I am not preaching from a position of being married. I am preaching from a position of being single, but studying deeply and learning and taking it in. Why is it so important? Why are these years so significant? So we're going to talk about that today. So let me start by saying this. Even though I have not been married, I have two wonderful parents, and I've had incredible grandparents, and I have done a lot of reading. I love to read. I love listening to podcasts. I love watching videos on just marriage because I love that one day. I love the whole entire aspect of marriage. And so let me start by saying this to all the singles: bad marriages, okay, they don't happen after marriages, but bad marriages begin in your single years. Now, hear me out. This is what I mean by this. What do you mean? Glad you asked. Unhealthy marriages happen not because you got married. It's because of singleness issues. Okay, hear me out, single people. Not because you got married, but messed up marriages are simply a symptom of a root problem that you never dealt with in your single years. Okay, so as a people, though, as I think we focus way more on the healing process than the preparation process. I think that is so true. In my generation, I'll speak for that. We are so quickly responding to try to find someone that is going to just be with us and be in the moment, and we're so quick to do that it's almost like we focus more on the healing process. Let me just get married, and then I'll work out anything else that there is to come. And although that's amazing, if you are married, you do get to work out any problems, and that's the beauty of marriage. You get to work out together. But I feel like we really focus more whenever we're single on the healing process and not the preparation process that we need to. So let's go back. The first thing that God created was not marriage, but God created the individual. If we think about that, God didn't create marriage first. He created the individual first. And it is so important that you as a single get that and understand that. Your single years are so important. But a lot of us see marriage as a way of just solving our singleness problem. We've got to totally shift our perspective. And maybe you're in this place and you are loving your single years. That's amazing. Maybe you're in this place and you are like, why am I still single? We're going to hit that today. So your single years are so important. They are actually sacred. Can you keep that slide up there, Matt, for me? Thank you so much. They are actually sacred if you're in this place, because singleness is a prerequisite for marriage. If you do not set a good foundation in your single years, your marriage can become much more challenging. We have got to set a quality and good foundation in your single years, or your marriage can become much more challenging. If you need any resources, and this is just a free thing, if you need any resources, single people, on, encouragement, or how do I walk through these single years, or how do I, whatever it is, I so encourage you after church today, or whatever you're feeling discouraged about, God, when am I going to find the one? There is a phenomenal series called Relationship Goals by Mike Todd. It is a phenomenal series. I think it's one of the best things out there besides, EXO conference and stuff. But it's a phenomenal series. It talks about, the waiting, the dating process, the single, but you're not alone. There's so much about it, and even talks about when you are married. And so it covers all bases. So if you need any resources, please, please, please go to YouTube and look up Relationship Goals by Mike Todd. You will not be disappointed. So here are some biblical truths on how to really maximize your sacred single years, okay? These are great points. I encourage you all to write them down. All you single people, write these down. They're so important. If you are here in this place and you're married, but you have a child that's, I'll say a child, a young adult that is single, I think these are great points that maybe you could encourage them with or send them this message later. So number one, this is good stuff, guys, because this is stuff that I have had to learn about myself, and this is stuff that I've had to seek the Lord after and get an entire revelation for myself. And so this is not just coming out of stuff that I don't know. This is coming out of my heart because this totally just resonated with me. But number one, you can be fulfilled in your single years. You don't have to have someone fulfill you. Does that make sense? You can be fulfilled in your single years. You don't have to wait until you find someone to then choose. Wait, I'm not fulfilled yet until I find someone. I'm not anybody until I find someone to fulfill me. You can be fulfilled in your single years. You can. And so Miles Monroe said this: consciously or subconsciously, the quest to fulfill our perceived needs drives our lives and influences all our decisions. This is just as true with relationships as anything else. As long as you perceive lack or incompleteness within yourself, every relationship you enter into will be, to one degree or another, an effort to supply that lack, orbiting a sense of completeness. If you feel deficient, you will build your entire relationship on that deficiency because you will be looking to the other person to supply what you do not have. That's from Miles Monroe. So single people, you cannot look to another person to fulfill you. You cannot be seeking for another person because you are feeling empty inside. We have a generation that is, we're just about the next thing and the next thing and quickly. And I need things quickly. And I need satisfaction quickly. And I need to feel satisfied quickly. This is the biggest lie I believe the enemy wants to push over you when it comes to relationships, is you need to jump into something quickly. You're not satisfied. It's because you're taking too long. If you're not feeling fulfillment, it's because you need something or someone to fulfill you. You can be completely and wholly fulfilled without being with someone or seeking in fulfillment for someone else. See, the Lord wants you. He actually wants you to be fulfilled and whole and complete in Him and yourself before you go and find someone. I believe that's how He designed it. If we go back to the story of Adam, whenever God created Adam, God created him, and there was a lot of different aspects with Adam before God brought Eve to him. But the one thing I want to point out is that Adam, he was fulfilled. He had a vision. He had a relationship with the Lord. He was obedient to the Lord. He had a wonderful relationship with the Lord. He didn't say, well, I feel like half of me is missing. That wasn't even on his radar. He didn't even know. That wasn't even on his radar. He was so focused with the Lord and doing what the Lord asked him to do. And then what happened is the Lord brought someone. So I just want to use it as an example for that. But you don't have to have someone to feel fulfilled. When you are looking to someone to fulfill a need or hole in your mind or heart, or to give you purpose, to give you vision, to give you direction, the moment they are unable to supply that for you, what happens? Well, now, I just feel like I'm falling out of love with them. I just don't feel the same way like I did, when I first met them. And see, let me explain this. This goes into my point too, but let me explain this. If you are not fulfilled and whole, if you don't have direction, if you don't have purpose, if you don't have vision from the Lord and fulfillment from the Lord, and you look to someone else to fully fulfill that, you look to, from my perspective, being a girl, I think there's a stigma of like, we gotta, whenever you get married with a guy, you've got to have a guy to have vision. You've got to have a man to feel fulfilled and to have direction in your life. Or whatever it is, if you don't have that for yourself and you rely solely on your spouse to give you vision, to give you satisfaction, to give you fulfillment, to give you, even confidence in yourself, whatever it is, the moment they cannot fulfill that for you, if they can't give you confidence that day, if you're only relying on them, and you married them for that purpose, what's going to happen to you is the minute they're unable to fulfill that need, you're going to think, well, I just don't feel like this is working anymore. And I've seen a lot of, unfortunately, young friends of mine that have gotten married so fast because they don't have any vision for their lives. They have no direction for their life. They have no purpose. They have nothing. And they've gone to someone expecting that person to totally fulfill every part of what they are lacking and bleeding in their life. And the minute that person stopped fulfilling that, or if that person got in a slump, I've seen it because it happened to my friends who are saying, you know what, man, it's just not working anymore. I just don't feel that connection anymore. I just don't feel like we're in love anymore. I'm falling out of love. And sooner or later, they end up getting a divorce. And that is not how the Lord intended it to be. He intended for you to feel fulfilled by him. So regardless if your spouse is be able to give to you or not give to you or whatever it looks like, you're choosing to love them unconditionally, not love them based on what they can give you. Is because you're already fulfilled within yourself. So single people in this place, if you are not fulfilled in yourself, this is the worst time to get in a relationship. That is the worst time to get in a relationship. I love using this example. And I'll tell my youth kids this as well because it's a great example. But whenever you are hungry, that is the worst time to go grocery shopping. Come on, this is going somewhere. You know where I'm going with this. That is the worst time to go grocery shopping. Why? Because when you go in the grocery store, everything looks good. The Twinkies, the pies, the junk food, the stuff that's going to kill you later. Everything looks so good. And that's the worst time to go grocery shopping is because you're starving. I tell our youth this, if you are starving for purpose in life, if you are starving for affirmation, if you are starving for vision, if you are starving for needs or fulfillment, you do not need to be searching for somebody because anything that walks by and gives you a little bit of attention, oh, I like that. I want that. Let me tell you something. That could be the most junky thing that will ever enter into your life, but you chose it based upon a need. Instead of choosing based upon a choice and saying, you know what, I actually know that's what's good for me. See, whenever you're full and you go grocery shopping because you had something really nice to eat, you're able, you know what, I think I need to get some vegetables. I think I'm going to choose that. I'm going to pick that. That's really good for me. I know I need to get that. I know that, I'm out of, you start choosing more wisely. It's because you're not desperate anymore. You can use that on your kids. Please use it. So I think that it goes the same way with relationships, guys. Single people, if you're searching right now, and even if you're a time of desperation, this is not the time for you to be searching for someone to try to fulfill that. You got to go to the Lord. You got to go to your resource. You got to get vision from him. You got to get all your needs from him. And then I believe that's the time. Number 2. You can be complete and whole without a significant other. This ties right into my point number 2. You can be complete and whole without a significant other. See, I hear this a lot, and I'm not dogging on anybody, but I do hear this a lot. And I hear, people say, well, I found my other half, and I was 50%, and they were 50%. We came together and get 100%. Imagine this. Imagine 100%. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but imagine you are 100% full as a person, and then you meet somebody else that's 100% full, and you guys come together. And I hear this 50% thing, and I think that the heart is pure in it. I think it's really cute to say that. I found my other half, but I really believe that whenever you are severely lacking something, and you know that you are severely lacking. I'm not talking about small things like you don't like doing dishes, or maybe you are a little, insecure in this area, whatever it is, and the Lord has actually brought you together with someone. I mean, you are severely lacking in something. and you are then in a relationship with someone and they are also severely, severely lacking. Maybe it's restoration the Lord needs to pull you through. Whatever it is, and you guys come together and you're relying on just each other to fulfill that. I don't think that's setting your marriage up for success.